Welcome to San Marcos High School in San Marcos, California. It's the high school CIF San Diego Lacrosse Championships. As today we bring you a Division II matchup between the top two seeds, number 1 Del Norte and number 2 St. Augustine. Hello everyone, along with Coach Tom DeMeo, I'm Mark Heller. Thanks so much for joining us. Well, there have been no upsets in Division II. All the favorites have won and have made their way to the championship.
Yeah, these are the two teams that I think we all expected to be here in this game. So looking forward to this one being a real good game.
Starting off with Del Norte, it's all about the brothers Welch. Those two have combined to score 62 goals. They're going to have to slow them down if St. Augustine's going to pull off the win today.
Absolutely.
So we were talking about the brothers Welch and their scoring ability. What does St. Augustine need to do to slow down those two youngsters defensively?
Well, you know, I think that Luke Welch is a sophomore. He was a leading scorer. He brings a ton of pressure from the left side, and I think that's going to be Saint's primary focus. So stopping those two guys is really going to be the name of the game for the Saints.
Their head coach, Liam Boothia, the team 12-7 on the year, just 1-3 in a very tough Palomar league. But when you take a look, they're playing against schools like Poway, Westview, and Mount Carmel. That's a loaded league.
Yeah, I think when you look at strength of schedule, Del Norte, they have the advantage. They've played the big boys, and they may not have won the game, but that's really going to play out, and that's why they were 1 seed, and they're poised to go after a championship this year.
They're the hot hand. They've won 5 of 6 in the playoffs on fire. Destroyed Francis Parker 15-1 and Patrick Henry 13-4. On the flip side for St. Augustine, they're led by John Tola. Nice record, 15-6, 4-1 on the year. When you talk about this ball club offensively, they're led by Jack Spencer.
Absolutely, and Jack's a senior, and Coach Tola gets the kids fired up. They play physical, and those guys, I just played them a few weeks back with Santa Fe Christian. They were beating us in the fourth quarter. Those guys, they don't give up. They work really hard, and that's why they're a 2 seed playing against the 1 seed right now.
And also Chris Tanaka, a guy to look out for, 56 ground balls, 18 points off 12 goals. They're going to need his contribution as well today. Absolutely.
Chris is a good defender, gets up and down the field, brings a presence to their defense and to the in between the boxes. He's going to be a factor.
And we should also mention one of the key no-shows for today for St. Augustine, number 4, Matthew Beto. A kid with 111 ground balls on the year, 21 goals at his sister's graduation. You told me back east at Villanova, that really could be a deciding factor in this match.
Yeah, he's a grinder. He plays long stick and short stick, and they're certainly going to miss him today. And hopefully they can get someone to replace some of that production.
St. Augustine in purple, Del Norte in white. Time for the face-off and talk about the importance of winning the Battle at X.
Yeah, you know, this is where Del Norte has an advantage. They've done pretty good at the X all season, and that's going to be a big factor.
And so they'll have the first possession of this game as we get going here from San Marcos High School. Beautiful stadium, by the way, a state-of-the-art just redone the last 3 or 4 years, one of the nicer facilities here in San Diego County.
Yeah, I think one thing you're going to see today that's really going to have an impact, especially in these early games, is the heat. It's pretty hot. It's over 90 degrees, and the turf gets hot. I was down there earlier, and you can feel the heat coming off the turf. So I think both coaches are going to want to slow things down a bit and make the most of their possessions.
A little of a miscue there and a turnover, and it's scooped up by St. Augustine's Gianni Anfusio. They're having trouble, though, corralling that loose ball. Who wants to come away with the grounder? And it's the long pole. Nothing like the long pole at times, huh?
Yeah, and I think you saw in the first possession there, they were trying to get the ball to Luke, and he was shut off by St. Augustine, and they turned it over trying to get it to him when he was shut off. Spencer
with it, number 30. We spoke about him on the pregame show. He's the guy that you want to slow down for the Saints. 15-6 on the year, 4-1 in league play. Early on, you're just kind of trying to feel each other out, looking for that flow in the game.
Yeah, they want to make sure they get a few spins, and as I said, it's hot. You want to slow it down a bit. I do think that Del Norte has a little bit more depth. They may bring a higher tempo, but Saints definitely, they use guys both ways. They don't want to be going too fast on offense.
So no shot attempt by the Saints, and who wants to come up with that loose ball grounder? And it's going to go to Del Norte, so the Nighthawks get possession. Each team early on with one turnover.
Yeah, that was just an unforced turnover right there. Just passing the ball around and bounced out of the kid's stick, and that's unfortunate.
Coach, you were here a year ago in the Division II game, knocked off San Marcos, were crowned champions. What's it like for the coaches right now on the sideline at the beginning part of this game?
Well, I think they're both feeling each other out, and they're trying to see what these two teams are really familiar with each other. Unlike last year in the Division I championship when we had never seen San Marcos, so these guys have played I think 4 times in 2 years. So
shot on the way, and it's going to go wide off the attempt by Jake Welch. How about that play by Jordan Penn? He worked his way all the way down to the 20-yard line. You don't see that often out of a goalie.
Yeah, that was a good clear, and sometimes that's how the ride plays out. But that was impressive.
So you've got an all East Coast broadcast crew. Coach originally from Boston, is that correct?
Yep,
I'm from
right.
Long Island, New York, but we both have found our way out here in Southern California enjoying the glamorous life.
Yeah, it is beautiful out here.
Yeah, I was done with snow back in '87. I got out of there as quick as I could.
Certainly don't miss the snow.
Not at all. Shot on the way is going to go high and wide off the attempt, and possession will be kept by the Nighthawks. Not a great record at 12-7 on the year, but the key is they're playing their best lacrosse of the year, winning 2 in a row in the playoffs, and their last 5 out of 6. The only loss was a 1-goal loss to Grossmont, 11-10.
Yeah, and you can see that was an interesting dynamic right there on the shot. Luke Welch has been shut off all game, went down and picked it up and drew the short stick, which I'm sure is in Del Norte, Coach Bouthia's game plan.
Lawrence Mier-Turan comes away with it, and now here they come on the attack. Ryan Camarada, he wears number 31. Spencer Mischke, they bring it up top. And I like what the Saints are doing right here. They're forcing the Nighthawks to play defense.
Yeah, and one thing you'll see throughout the game, Del Norte likes to mix up some zone and some man, and Coach Tola was looking for that. So I think right now you can see that they've played both sets. They've played zone and man so far.
Work their way behind the cage. Scoreless game. 7:56 to go here in quarter one. We have 12 4-minute quarters in the game of high school lacrosse, as opposed to the college game, which has 15-minute quarters. This is really a busy month, the month of May, in the sport of lacrosse. Of course, you have the major Division I championships. Just last week, you had the MCLA championships in Southern California, and congratulations to Concordia and Grand Canyon for winning the Division I and Division II championships. Of course, now we have the high school championships here. We've had it in Orange County and Los Angeles County, and this sport just continues to grow.
Yeah, and for me, one of the advantages of not being in this game is I got to watch some college lacrosse this weekend. So.
And what games did you enjoy the most that you had a chance to catch?
Well, throughout the week, Ohio State played Duke this morning. That was a great game. And
shot, score! We have our first goal of the game for the Saints. It comes from Ricky Reed, his 15th goal of the year at the 7:01 mark of quarter one.
Yeah, he got topside right-handed, took a good shot right past the Del Norte goalie, and I think that's a patient, slow attack is what the Saints are looking to do.
And like I said, there's nothing like working that offense, forcing the defense, as you see on the TVX video replay. Just no chance there for Jordan Penn. And now the Saints win the faceoff, where they had possession and lost it. And here comes the long pole for the Nighthawks. Let's see what Del Norte can do, trailing 1-0. I'm not sure, is this the first time that they've been trailing in these playoffs?
I would expect it is, looking at the scores.
So the question is when you're used to recent domination and all of a sudden you trail, you find out a little something about your team and see how they respond.
Well, and you can see that Del Norte's take a little different approach. They just ran both Luke and Jake Welch out of the box.
And Jake has it right now. And he gets stripped. Good defense there by Lorenzo Miero y Turan, and they're able to a bad pass on the clear, and it's going to get, we'll see who wants to scoop it up. A scrum breaks place, and coming away with it are the Saints. So they've come away with those 50-50 balls early on. Nice move, shot, and a beautiful save made by Jordan Penn. Reed was looking for his second goal of the game, but he gets denied.
It's a great save, and they really needed that at this point of the game.
Another turnover, and the ball back to the Saints. Hold violation against the Saints, and the Nighthawks will take over. And that's just a sloppy pass right there. Unforced turnover.
Yeah, and I think smartly the Saints are looking to slow the ball down here.
Mischke with it. He kicks it up top and gives way to Bacino. Michael Bacino, number 2. So the Nighthawks definitely playing a lot of defense early on, and that's not something that Coach Boothia wants to be seeing.
No, and you can see they're back into their zone now, and they definitely want to have more offensive chances than they've had.
Continuing to work it around, and now behind the cage, your officiating crew for today: Vince Soli-Vilker, your referee; Matt Smith, umpire; Buck Connolly, field judge; Scott Trimble, timer; and Eric Bryan, your scorekeeper.
Yeah, and you can see a situation here where the Saints have Del Norte caught up with 3 short sticks on the field, and I'm sure they're going to want to take advantage of this, and that's why Del Norte quickly went into a zone.
Gibbons swings left side off to Chamberlain, and now behind the cage as they work it to Spencer. No shot attempt yet, but they continue to take time off that clock. We're down to 4:10 to go here in quarter one. Shot, score! 2-0. The Saints go up. I'll tell you what, that shot from 25 yards had a lot of mustard on it. Penn couldn't see it because he had defenders in the way. It's 2-0 Saints.
Yeah, that's one of those situations where if you're going to play zone, you're going to give up those shots. It's a great overhand shot by...
Let's take a look on the TVX video replay on how that one developed. That's what we call rip and grip by Spencer Mischke. That's his 20th goal of the year and his 30th point of the season.
Great fundamentals on that shot. You can see he steps in overhand and just rips a bounce shot upper corner.
So 2-0 Saints lead. Nighthawks with possession. Let's see if the boys in white can find a way to get on the scoreboard as they're trailing early on to the number 2 seed. These teams played back on March 21st, and the Nighthawks came away with a 7-4 victory. So you know the Saints certainly have retribution on their mind.
Well, yeah, just thinking through here, last year when I was in this game, we went down 2-0 early too. So I'm putting myself in Coach Bouthia's shoes right now, and I think he wants to get the next one.
What size shoe do you wear, by the way?
Only an 11.
Well, that's larger than my 10, so you beat me by a single size. A turnover, and here we go again. 3:21 to go here in quarter number one. Mark Heller, Tom DeMeo, thanks for joining us here on Championship Saturday. San Marcos High School, San Marcos, California. The timeout was called in the middle of possession, so timeout with 3:12 to go here in quarter number one.
Yeah, that's a good timeout used there by Coach. It would have been a turnover. He was falling out of bounds, and he saved himself a possession. And as I said, at what may not be too critical of a time, but you do want to get the next goal, and you don't want to go down 3-0. So it's a smart timeout.
You're watching the CIF San Diego Section Lacrosse Finals on TVX Sports. If you're enjoying the action so far, why not give us a thumbs up? The TVX Sports crew is working hard to bring you these CIF San Diego Lacrosse Finals, and let's get some thumbs up for these guys. Doing a great job are the guys in the booth and people on camera. And here's our production crew for today. Luis Rivera, producer, technical director. Andrew Leadham, our director. Randall Sliz, camera operator. Same for George Sullivan. Christina Corcoran on camera. Of course, our executive producer, Ted Bendrick, and Josh Resnicek on camera as well. I'm your humble play-by-play announcer, Mark Heller, along with Tom DeMeo. We got Boston to New York covered all the way to Southern California here on Championship Saturday. So you take a look at your run this year, and what happened that your team fell short in this year's CIF playoffs?
Well, we advanced from where we were last year, went to the Open Division, played La Costa Canyon, who we'll be seeing later on tonight playing Coronado. So it was a little different than our Division I run. But, we certainly advanced our program and had some of the same leaders I had last year. So we had a great season. We won 14 in a row to close the season out. So we're happy.
Yeah, that's a nice role. And I understand your son is quite the player at Coronado. We'll be definitely highlighting him in the Open Division Championship. 53 goals, 100 points, video-like numbers by Sonny Boy.
Yeah, he's chasing after his older brother, who holds the California state scoring record with 391 points. So,
oh, wow.
So
okay.
He's got some motivation.
I got it. The sibling rivalry. I love it. That shot, by the way, went wide by Luke Welch, and the Nighthawks keep possession. Just under 2.5 minutes to go here in quarter one.
Yeah, you can see that Luke, number 10, is they got 16 locked on him. He's been on him since he got off the bus, basically. But
Tim Doyle. His shot goes wide.
I think that's going to be a key, is to find out ways to get 10 free. You can see he's going back there to help right now.
Yep. And, Doyle's a guy you got to look out for also. 12 goals, 24 assists, good for 36 points on the year. And that save is made nicely in between the pipes. And so here comes the Saints in transition. And they will get that possession. They're up 2-0 with 1:56 to go.
And that may be the first shot on net for Del Norte right there.
Yep, and Aiden Doherty during the year, very solid in between the pipes. When you're talking about 63% on the save percentage, that's definitely an above-average goalie.
Absolutely. That was a good save. He moved to the ball well, too.
And he only allows 4.9 goals against average, so that's an impressive number. And a timeout is called with 1:42 to go. A reminder, you're watching exclusive action of the San Diego CIF Lacrosse Finals here on TVX Sports. Tom DeMeo, I'm Mark Heller. By the way, if your business is looking for the best in internet, phone, and video service, it's Spectrum Business. And guess what? You could call me, Mark Heller, at 714-620-5547. Phone's even available on the weekend. If you call my work phone, it'll get forwarded to my cell phone. Don't want to miss your call. Want to help you out. If your business is in need of assistance, that's Spectrum Business and yours truly, Mark Heller. I haven't gotten the caller email since I've said that on these broadcasts, so I want to see someone step up who truly needs our service reaching out to me here this weekend.
I'll give you a call on Monday. How's that?
Do you live in the Spectrum Business area is the question.
I believe I have Spectrum, but
I'm talking about for a business. I work on the business side. We have a separate branch, which is the residential side. But I know that you'll put the word out for me there, Tom DeMeo.
Absolutely. Anything for a fellow New Yorker. Us Boston guys love New York guys. So.
Oh, yeah.
Long Island especially.
All I can say is thank you, Billy Buckner, and we'll leave it at that. So what was said, do you think, by each of the coaches during this timeout?
Well, it's interesting. Both coaches taking timeouts here before the end of the first quarter. Coach Tola looking to have a possession, looking to get that coveted 3-goal lead. And so I think both teams are just talking through zones and who's going to cover who. And, I think so far Saints' game plan's coming together.
And we get down to 1:15 to go here in the first quarter. The Saints in their purple, Del Norte Nighthawks in their white. So far, goals from Reed and Mischke have been it on the offensive end so far in this one.
And that's a great player right there by 13, Spencer Mischke, getting position on that ground ball, taking the heat from behind and getting the push call and retaining possession for the Saints.
And Mischke second on the team with 98 ground balls during the year. You could see why.
It's a lost art is fundamentally, get in front of that ball, get in position.
Stripped of the ball is Spencer. And let's see what the Nighthawks can do as we're down to 35 seconds here in quarter one from San Marcos High School, San Marcos, California. The Division II San Diego High School Lacrosse Championship. Shot. Oh, he whiffed on it. Oh, talk about a golden opportunity. Oh, if you're Christian Devine, you want that one back.
Yeah, that's a tough one. And maybe they can make amends and score here. But,
it's the equivalent of a guy wide open for a layup in basketball and just missing it. I mean, it's just one of those coulda, shoulda, wouldas. Shot's going to go high and wide off the attempt by Welch with 4 ticks remaining here in quarter one. And that's going to do it for the first quarter of play from San Marcos High School in San Marcos, California. The 2 seed, St. Augustine 2. The number 1 seed, Del Norte nothing. You're watching exclusive coverage of the Division II San Diego CIF Lacrosse Championships right here on TVX Video.
American source for high school sports. The California Correctional Peace Officers Association.
Welcome back to San Marcos High School, San Marcos, California. Moments away from the beginning of quarter two. St. Augustine with the early 2-0 lead. Your thoughts on the first quarter of play, Coach?
Well, it's been sloppy. There's been some miss opportunities, but I do think, that really Del Norte needs to get something going offensively. They've tried to force the ball to Luke Welch a few times. It's resulted in turnovers, and ultimately those have resulted in Saints goals. So I think Saints is doing a pretty good job offensively, settling things down and finding the right matchup, and when they get the opportunity, taking the shot. So I think the key to the second quarter here is going to be offensive tempo for both teams.
Well, if you remember, a year ago, Del Norte made it to the Division I championships, and they lost to La Jolla by the count of 11-5. So they're certainly hoping that history will not repeat itself.
Yeah, and when I was shaking hands with Coach Boothia before the game, he was asking about my ring and hoping he could get one of those. So.
Yeah, but by the way, that is one big honking ring. As they would say in the movie Titanic, you definitely sink to the bottom. As the second quarter of action is underway. Who wants that loose ball? It's off the Nighthawks, goes to the Saints, so they have the 2-0 lead and the ball here early moments of the second quarter, just 12 seconds in.
Yeah, and again, just another missed opportunity that, you know, defender had an opportunity to pick the ball up. He stabbed at it, went out of bounds, and now Saints is back on offense.
Talk about the way lacrosse is growing as a sport out here in California. We're seeing more and more kids getting the opportunity to play the sport on the collegiate level.
Yeah, it's really taken off, and there's a whole handful of kids we're reporting on today that are committed to various colleges back east and out here. So it's been a big development, at least in the time I've been out here.
Yep, you're welcome to throw out those names and schools if you have that info for us, so the fans at home will know, who's going to be playing where and moving on to that next level. The Saints, once again, the key so far in this game has just been they have been driving so much time off clock on the offensive end. And when you're playing a lot of defense in 90-plus degree weather, it's going to wear you down. Yeah,
and that's, ironically, that's exactly one of the keys to the game that Coach Boothia had mentioned. What they wanted to do is wear down the Saints with their depth that they thought they had advantage in, and I think it's went the other way, certainly.
Yep, and also hydration is going to be extremely important, especially come during the second half. We'll see how these young men respond to these weather conditions. Spencer trying to set up one of his teammates, but loses the handle and Penn with it. And let's see if the Nighthawks can get a clear here and get a rare offensive opportunity.
Again,
and they throw it away. Not even being able to get into your offensive set. There's no excuse for that.
The clearing game on Del Norte's side has been real sloppy, and I would imagine Coach wants to improve that. And that's really been their Achilles heel so far.
Yep, a year ago, St. Augustine made it to the semis before they lost to Del Norte 13-3, and last year's 15-3 record was the best in school history upcoming to this year. Their 15-6 record not as good, but clearly a better season as they're here in the championship. A scrum takes place in the end zone for that loose ball, and it will go to Del Norte.
And it's not by coincidence. The team they lost to last year is playing in the Division I game after this one, the game we played in last year. So that was they were a good team last year. Del Norte was, but they ran into a very strong La Jolla team. It was proven that again this year by making the Division I championship game and flirting with the Open Division all season.
Let's see if Del Norte can get something going here. The bad news is they're down 2-0, but the good news is they're only down 2-0.
Yeah, with the way they've been clearing the ball, it could be a lot worse. And you can see right there that they had effective clear, and now they're in a situation where they can have a clean offensive possession.
Yep, Doyle with it.
And again, you see as soon as 10 walks out of the box, he has a guy waiting for him and shutting him off.
Yep. But at the same time, you've got to find a way to make some adjustments and get your guy open, especially when he's your go-to guy.
Yeah, and I'm sure they'll be scheming that the whole game, and I'm sure they expected a little bit of that. But so far it hasn't been effective.
Welch's shot and the save is made nicely by Aiden Doherty. They got the open look, and he shot it low, which is what you're supposed to do, but he came up with the save.
Yeah, he shot it what we call low to low, and that's he didn't change levels on it, made it real easy save for Doherty.
And here come the Saints looking for more as we approach 8:10 to go here in the first half, the Division II championship game between the Saints of St. Augustine and the Nighthawks of Del Norte here at San Marcos High School.
And again, you're seeing a slow approach here by Saints.
And so far that patience has really paid off for them.
Yeah, it has. At some point it's going to take more than 2 goals to win the game, but they could wear down this defense. I think they sort of have them on the ropes right now.
Good ride there defensively by the Nighthawks. Gibbons with it. Off to Bacino.
Yeah, you can see in what Saints is trying to do here, they're trying to make a few passes, step in, draw the double team, move it quick, and then hopefully get an easier look.
And nobody likes to play a lot of defense. That's exactly what Del Norte is doing. I've mentioned it numerous times, but it's really been a major theme of this game.
being really patient offensively.
Off to Bacino.
And, I think one thing you might start seeing here, and I'm sure the refs are thinking about it, they do have a keep it in call after a certain amount of time if they feel the team isn't going to the net. And
they've put up, the 30-second clock if that should happen?
You have to keep it in the box. It's different than college where they put a shot clock on.
Okay.
So we get a penalty there, I think, on 13, Spencer Mischke.
So that's going to be our first penalty of the game, so first man-up opportunity.
Well,
and Mischke, Mischke knows he made a mistake.
Well, he was riding hard. That's what you teach the kids, and he got his stick up a little and drew the penalty. But with the way Del Norte's been clearing, he's had a couple steals on the clear, so I'm sure he's feeling aggressive.
So if you're a coach and your player commits that penalty, are you upset or are you happy with his effort?
In that case, that was a good effort. There's times you do get upset, but that he was riding hard. He just took the body a little bit too much and got the stick up.
So the Nighthawks are looking for their first goal of the game, and they've got a man up. So this is the way to get Welch open. Shot on the way, score for the Nighthawks, who score their first goal of the game. It comes from Michael Good, the mini sophomore, his 7th goal of the season and his 10th point of the year. It comes with 6:18 to go here in quarter 2.
Yeah, and just like you said, the ball went in Welch's stick behind.
Let's take a look on the TBX video replay. Break it down, Coach.
Yeah, well, ball went in Welch's stick behind. He threw a skip to his brother, who moved it quick up top. A nice overhand bounce shot that skipped low for a goal.
So, boy, having that man-up situation really pays huge dividends for the Nighthawks, and we've got a one-goal contest at 2-1 with 6:10 to go in the first half. And it's so infectious. How often do you see the team that scores a goal usually wins the face-off? They had it for a moment and then lost the handle of that ball along the sideline. Can the Saints keep it in bounds? And I think, do they rule them out or do we have a timeout?
I think Coach got a timeout.
Called a timeout.
Got a timeout.
Boy, that is a smart timeout because a turnover was about to take place. We have 5:52 to go in the first half. It's the Saints 2 and the Nighthawks 1. You're watching exclusive action of the San Diego CIF Section Lacrosse Finals on TBX Sports. TBX Sports is proud to bring you the best in San Diego and Southern California local sports. If you want to see more live games, if you want to see more game recaps and highlights, give us a like and click that subscribe button. So this is the first of a trifecta coming your way. Next up, we have a Division I matchup between La Jolla and Scripps Ranch. Scripps Ranch, they have kind of been the kids who have been Heartbreak Hotel last 3 years, losing in the semis and the finals respectively. And then the nightcap, we've got a couple of good ones. Coronado and La Costa Canyon have found a way to make it back to the promised land of the Open Division after the last 2 years. They were able to spoil the party between Poway and Torrey Pines.
Yeah, and that one is most amazing because they upset Torrey Pines, #1 team in the state, coming into, in the semifinals. So that should, you never know how that goes after a big upset. They had huge upset in the semifinals, and you come into a championship game, you just hope that they don't think that was the pinnacle of what they were trying to accomplish, because it was a huge accomplishment. So that'll be a good one. So
5:52, and the Saints will retake possession. They're in the purple, Del Norte in white. What do you look for out of this timeout?
Well, I think you're going to see the same thing. They're going to possess the ball. They still have a lead. And, they feel like 6-on-6. They can compete with these guys. And that penalty really hurt them and freed up the offense to get going. But I think they're going to want to answer with a goal here.
And it really gave the Nighthawks a glimmer of hope after there had not been much hope through much of this first half offensively.
It can be frustrating when your top players shut down. And ultimately, you haven't scored a goal all game. So they needed that.
Gaynor had it, lost possession. Loose ball scramble. Who wants to come away with that grounder as they work their way towards midfield? It's the Nighthawks. And we have a whistle. And the Nighthawks will Nighthawks call timeout. with 5:03 to go. So both coaches have used both of their timeouts here in the first half with 5:03 to go. So right now, if you're head coach Tola, what are you telling your team? You're up, but you've lost a little bit of that momentum that you had built most of the first half.
Well, I think they're going to stick to the game plan. They're shutting off with who they feel is Del Norte's go-to player, who will probably start with the ball coming out of this timeout. So they'll probably have Tanaka on him, and he'll try to make something happen. And that's probably, Tola knows that, and he's going to try to make sure they're sliding early to him and get the ball out of his stick and then get that shutoff back on him.
Some of the good victories for St. Augustine during the year. They had early on, they had an 8-7 overtime victory against Patrick Henry. But then the following game, they took on Cathedral Catholic on the road and found out home away from home is not so kind, as they lost by the count of 17-4. When you have a difficult, big deficit defeat like that, is it sometimes a good thing and that it humbles your team and maybe they start listening to the coach a little more?
It can be, yes. And we had a similar game with Cathedral the first game of the season, and it was put there for that reason, just about. But it ultimately, some of these teams are really good, and it's growing pains.
So back to action. Let's see the Nighthawks looking to tie it right here with possession. 4:45 to go here in the first half. Mark Keller, Coach Tom DeMeo, thanks for joining us here on Championship Saturday. San Marcos High School, San Marcos, California. No shot opportunity. The clear, however, fails. A scrum at the 37-yard line. And coming away with it, the Nighthawks had it momentarily. Boy, that battle for the loose ball. And finally, it's the Nighthawks coming away with it. And number 9, Michael Good. But Good gets run out of bounds, and it goes right back to the Saints.
Yeah, I think the coaches there wanted a push call, but he was on his way out of bounds when he got the push, and so that's why that wasn't called.
Yep, I think they were trying to start up the play before the official gave him the go-ahead. 4:11 to go here in the first half. Of course, you're trying to find any little break and get a nice quick clear and try and get a quick offensive shot if possible, but that got taken away from the Saints. And that's just a bad errant pass right there.
Yeah, again, some sloppiness in the clearing game on both sides.
Yep, picked up by Spencer. Spencer trying to set up his teammate. Save made by Penn. So point-blank opportunity, but denied. And now here come the Nighthawks in transition. Thinking about it for a second was John Faringa and said, let's set it up. He now loses possession. Here comes the long pole and the clear for the Saints with a 2-1 lead. Just under 3.5 minutes to go.
Great check there down there on defense, dislodging the ball and getting it up and out really quick.
And the Saints will go back to their ball possession ways. I don't know what the time of possession is, but you have to have a feeling it's got to be at least 3-to-1 ratio.
That's probably right about where it is.
Yeah. Just playing a lot of offense, which you like to do, and playing a lot of defense, which you don't like to do. However, at 2:55, we'll have halftime coming up, and the coaches will have more of an opportunity to try and make a change in game plan.
Yeah, and a lot of times when teams are running zone, you will have situations where it takes a little longer to let things evolve. There's a turnover.
Yep, and here comes the clear by the long pole. And the Nighthawks now with an opportunity, Coach, to tie this thing up with 2:24 to go in the first half.
Yeah, and interesting here, it's one of the first times that Luke Welch came out of the box, and he's not shut off, so look for him to try to do something right.
Oh, yeah,
now.
If he's open, the shot's flying. And the shot's flying, and it goes wide, and the possession is kept. I mean, if nothing else, he just needs to get the feel for shooting the ball. Is that only either his first or second shot attempt of the game?
I believe that was his first, and it was right-handed. He's a natural lefty. That's his strength. So that wasn't his money shot right there.
Well, the Saints know that, right? So they're going to force him right. Nice play on defense by Ryan Camarada. And with it is Chris Tanaka. And they've got the clear off to Bacino. Up 2-1. Let's see if the Saints can do something here. Bacino wisely brings it back up top. Double team. Shot on the way is going to go wide, and possession will be kept by the Saints. 1:24 to go here in quarter 2.
Yeah, I think it'd be interesting here with about 1:20 left whether the Saints play for the last shot or not. I think with the lead in the heat, it might not be a bad idea. We'll see. We'll see how they handle it.
Lopez, Aiden Lopez wears number 17, sophomore midi.
Let's go defense! Cutter!
You know, it may not be exciting, their game plan, but it has teeth. You remember what movie that line was said?
I do not.
With Tom Cruise, remember he's the attorney working for that crooked law firm, and they end up coming up with tax evasion against the law firm for
it's billable
hours.
The firm, right?
The firm.
Yep,
there we go.
is.
I knew if I kept talking, we'd come up with it. As you get older, it just takes a while to come up with it. So 30 seconds remain. First half, 2-1. Saints lead it. They have possession of the ball, looking to see if they could put up goal number 3 before the end of the first half.
Yeah, and again, like I said, you are seeing them play for that last shot. And, I think if they, in a perfect world, they don't go to the net until it's under 10 seconds. That way, if it's a turnover, they know they're winning at halftime either way.
Up top, shot on the way, and the save is made by Jordan Penn. Rebound. Who wants it? That's going to do it for the first half of play from San Marcos High School. It has been a defensive battle so far at halftime. St. Augustine 2, Del Norte 1. You're watching exclusive action of the San Diego CIF Lacrosse Championships right here on TVX Video. We'll recap halftime in a few moments. Thanks for joining us. Cavs come away with it, and it's Conrad. And a flag flies. Should be man-up opportunity coming up here for Virginia. And they're deadly there. Kraut score! We've got a one-goal game. It's 11-10 with 2:13 to go here in the third.
Yeah, you wonder about the energy level of Cornell, and you wonder if Coach Kerwick wants to take a timeout, kind of let them get a breather, because when you have to play this tempo for 60 minutes, guys are going to start to get tired. You're going to start putting guys in that might not have kind of logged the minutes that you would want them to log before going into a game like this.
Let's go right by it. I'm like, is that the same high school?
So watch him. So yeah, I do. Thanks.
This year, St. Thomas.
I took a screenshot of that and I got a fucking blur use kids when that's what we live for. What's nice? Is that the best you got? Tell me about Derek. I'm walking good down there. I'm good. Some of that down there as well. I didn't know which part of the
Just for you and I. Beat the bar with French fries. We had a bad day.
Oh, you're broke.
That was.
San Marcos, California, at San Marcos High School. We are 2 minutes away from the start of the second half. Division II matchup, the number 1 seed Del Norte trailing the number 2 seed St. Augustine by the count of 2-1. Well, the scoring, it really won't take very long because there wasn't much scoring. Getting things going for the Saints was Reed with his 15th goal at the 7:01 mark. Mischke scored his 20th at the 4:10 mark. It was 2-0 at the end of one. But then the key penalty that took place against Mischke, and then the Nighthawks were able to score their only goal of the game. Good collecting his 7th of the year at the 6:18 mark at 2-1 your score. Now sometimes in championship games, defense takes over and is able to slow down offenses. Are you surprised by the low score of this one?
You know, I'm not surprised. I'm even looking back to last year when we played. It was a 6-5 game. You know, 1 goal at halftime, but that was probably the lowest scoring game we had all season. So for this game to be low scoring, that was, for me, that was expected. I didn't expect these guys to put up a lot of points. But, in the second half, anything can happen. I think the teams show a little bit more urgency defensively and offensively. So I think they can drastically change half to half.
Well, if you take a look, obviously, if you're only scoring 2 goals in a game, you're usually going to lose. For the Saints, they did that once during the year and lost actually twice. They scored 2 goals, losing to both La Jolla and Grossmont by the count of 7-2. When Del Norte did it, they lost to Poway by the count of 17-2 and to Westview 10-2. So we can easily say coming up with 2 good goals for a game, not a good omen.
Yeah, in the Saints, they are more of a defensive team. That's where their strength is. Offensively, they're developing. I believe maybe 30 might be their only senior on offense. I don't know that for sure, but they're pretty young offensively. So they haven't been scoring a lot of goals this year, and I think they can win a 5-4 game, 6-5 game. That's their preference.
So here we go once again. The Saints in purple, the Nighthawks in white. We've got 12 minutes as we begin the third quarter of play here in the second half. The winner will be Don Division II champions. And that battle at face-off, the battle of the Fogo. So important, that battle at X. And we're seeing, like we saw in the first half, guys just having trouble corralling those grounders. Coming away with it for Del Norte is Joshua Chambers. Chambers, their face-off man on the year.
Yeah, and the ground balls are so big, and both teams have given up so many of them. And I guess that's probably why it's a 2-1 game.
65. Chambers is 65 of 21 on face-offs during the year, so he's done pretty well in that category. Let's see if the Nighthawks can find a way and tie things up. This would be huge momentum if they can find a way to get on the board as they work it behind the cage. Just looking for some kind of opening is Chad Lammers. He wears number 3. Gives way to Alex Borromeo. Off to Jake Welch. Losing the handle on the pass and out of bounds. That will go over to the Saints. So Welch looking for Welch, and they can't make it happen. And the Saints with the ball, still with that 1-goal lead, and 10:40 to go here in the third.
Yeah, and you saw, for the first possession, the difference I saw was they did use Luke Welch, number 10, as a pick, and as him being shut off. So they are making use of him and trying to take advantage of the fact that Saints is locking him off.
There the Saints go again. As they say, the Saints keep marching on. And they have been doing that offensively, just willing to take huge chunks of time off the clock in this one. And I'm really going to be curious to see how the Nighthawks are doing by early in the fourth quarter after playing all this defense. Spencer loses the handle. We've got a push, and the Saints will keep possession.
Yeah, kind of an odd turnover just to pass down low, but Spencer did a good job getting position and, again, taking the push.
Boy, some of the fans are doing some coaching up in the stands, aren't they?
I think that was Coach Toller, actually.
Oh, was it?
Yeah,
oh, wow,
was.
Man. His
yeah,
voice
he has
really
a projecting
carrying.
voice.
I mean, that's big time. I mean, we have to be a couple of 100 feet away from him, so I know they've got the microphones on the sideline. Gainer. Looking to pass it down low, losing the handle. And the ground ball coming away with it to the Nighthawks. Can they come away with a clear? No, it's picked off.
Again,
here comes Reed. Excuse me, off to Mischke. Mischke with it. And once again, another offensive set. Shot on the way. Loose ball, rebound. Who wants it? Losing his stick is Jack Spencer, and the ball will go to the Nighthawks. So they had an opportunity, but unable to cash in.
Yeah, and Spencer Mischke again, another riding the ball back. He got a penalty on it earlier.
a turnover and a shot opportunity for Spencer. He works his way behind the cage. Off to Mishke.
Again, another field clear for the Nighthawks.
Pacino. It's just those turnovers that just drive you crazy as a coach, especially when they're of the unforced variety.
Yeah, both teams look like they're pushing the ball up the field, especially the Nighthawks. They're pushing the ball up the field a little hastily on their clear. You know, I'm sure Coach Boothia wants to change that.
Gibbons off to Mishke, now behind the cage to Spencer. By the way, it's still 86 degrees out, so heat's still a major factor in this one. And I was even in the shade when I look at the temperature, so it might even be a little warmer. Mishke, that shot gets blocked. Nice job on the defense for the Nighthawks by Luke Welch. Good job on the corralling of the ground ball by Camarada.
Yeah, that's a great ground ball by Camarada. He just out-hustled the attackman. That's a huge ground ball for Camarada.
Off to Gibbons. That's been one of the factors. They've won so many of those 50-50 balls.
That's
Spencer.
the key to these games.
Off to Bacino. He wears number 2. 5'11", 160-pound junior. Yeah, they only have 3 key offensive players who are seniors, so overall a pretty young ball club.
And you can see we're in another situation where Del Norte's been caught with 3 short sticks on the field, so I think the Saints have noticed that and trying to take advantage of it.
And obviously when you're in that defensive end of the field, you can't make substitutions. Shot on the way is going to go high and wide by Reed. He was looking for goal number 2. Would have been interesting because he scored the first goal of the game to see if he'd score the first goal of the second half. Errant pass intended for Gibbons. However, picked up by Spencer. And boy, there's not even a Nighthawk close to that ball.
Yeah, you know, they're sitting back, and, you know, they do look like they do look a little tired now on defense.
Spencer gets stripped, but they're able to re-corral. Boy, that was a long call by the official. I really couldn't hear him. What did he say?
You know, I didn't hear him either. It retains, it might have been equipment. So, you know, a lot of times if there's an equipment, falls off a player, they'll blow the whistle, take it outside the box, make sure the kid's safe, and restart it.
That's a good thing to do. Safety of the players, of course, is paramount. Gainer up
They're
top.
on a little wheel here.
Off to Spencer. And you notice as soon as Spencer gets it, you know, he's being ridden defensively by Cody Gilligan. And the loose ball scramble will go to Del Norte.
Yeah, good defense there by Del Norte.
12-7 on the year, 1-3 in a very tough Palomar league. But we mentioned winners of 5 out of 6 coming into these playoffs. And the first win during that run was a 10-7 victory at La Jolla. That was a big victory against the Vikings. Let's see if one of the Welches can get going. The brothers Welch. That usually equals victory, but so far they have both been shut out here today.
Great check there by Tanaka.
Yep.
Puts the ball on the ground and covering Welch.
And Doherty comes away with it. Oh, look at Gainer go. What a beautiful clear. And let's see if the Saints can make something of it here or if they just go back to what they've been doing. I think Gainer maybe tried to make one too many moves.
Yeah, I mean, Del Norte did a great job keeping the pressure.
Oh, that's
on.
a dangerous pass right there. Gilligan has it. And here comes the long pole. He's really been saddled leading the defense for Del Norte.
Yeah, you know, and I like what I'm seeing from Del Norte defensively right now. They're really bringing the pressure and showing some urgency. And it's paying off.
Which at some points in the game we weren't seeing that urgency. Really, even about a minute ago, and then all of a sudden they picked up the pace.
You start to get through midway third quarter with 1 goal and down by 1. You start getting urgency in the championship game.
Absolutely. 4:26 to go here in quarter 3. Still a 2-1 contest. Jason Brown. Brown behind the cage. Looking to try and set up, but picked defensively by Camarada. Camarada's a guy, we've said his name a lot today, also has played well. Mischke. Shot on the way. Just wide. Oh, no score. No, hit the crease. Oh, my. I thought that one was in. And now the goalie calls his own numbers as Jordan Penn and clears it for the Nighthawks. Shot, score, Welch! And we're all tied at 2 with 3:51 to go in quarter 3.
It's just one of those amazing turns and events that happen in this sport.
Just like that, the 41st goal of the year for Luke Welch. It comes at the 3:51 mark, and we are all tied at 2. And give credit, Jordan Penn makes a couple of great saves in front of the crease, is then runs with it, sets up the clear, pass, goal, and we're tied at 2. And a timeout on the field with 3:51 to go in a 2-2 tie in the Division II championship game.
Yeah, I mean, Jordan made the save, and he moved the ball right out, and that resulted in a goal.
Let's take a look at replay of the goal that tied it at 2. You kind of saw the tail end of it right there. Tied it 2 apiece. You knew it was just a matter of time until one of the brothers Welch would get things going. He got it going. But once again, you have to give credit to the goalie, Jordan Penn, for the great save, the clear, and the setup of the offense.
Yeah, I mean, we've been talking all game that they've been struggling in the clearing game, and I think that time you're starting to see the urgency. He didn't wait. He just got the ball up and out, and that resulted in an odd number situation. Luke Welch got an easy goal.
And I'm sure Coach Booth has said, "See, guys, we've been practicing this all year, and you guys did it. Keep doing it."
Well, you know, and it's a lesson learned for Saints. I mean, if you do get those crease calls, you can't really stand around and argue them or wonder what happened. You gotta listen for the whistle and get back and stop transition.
And the Nighthawk fans, who have been relatively quiet, are now standing and on their feet here at San Marcos High.
Well, this has been the game we expected.
And once again, the face-off. So right now, all the momentum is with the Nighthawks, proving why they are the #1 seed, starting to play more like it. That ball up for grabs. And the Saints come away with it. Good effort by Gianni and Fuso. He loses the handle and now picked up by Penn. They'll try and set up a clear again. And it's successful. Off to Reinecke. He loses the handle. And a nice clear by the Saints. The pass, though, is picked off by the Nighthawks. That's Logan Joyce. He gives way to Jeff Gilding, who gives off to Brother Welch. And he just scored moments ago. He's looking for more. He's chomping at the bit. Nighthawks looking for their first lead of the game. Boy, the Saints just keep running defenders at him.
Yeah, in 39, Gaynor, he just had 2 runs up and down the field, and really good ground balls, and he's still in there on defense, so he's got to be pretty tired in this year.
Absolutely, and for St. Augustine right now, it's Isaac Wright who is battling with Welch. Shot on the way, and it's going to go just wide off a nice attempt and hustle by Michael Good, who is seeking his second goal of the game. Welch with it in a 2-2 tie and 2:10 to go here in quarter number 3. I think that was more of an attempted pass than a shot, is what that looked like to me as he was looking to set up Tim Doyle.
It was, but they're calling that it was tipped. They're calling that it was tipped.
So they got a break there.
I think they got a break. I didn't see a tip there. No offense to Ref Schmitty, but I didn't see a tip.
Things have a way of evening out. Jake Welch sets up, and the shot just wide off the attempt by Tyler Renicky. Oh, you know Tyler would like to have that shot attempt back. It was a beautiful setup, but the shot went wide. Now it's the Nighthawks with all the momentum, and they're playing on offense. Doyle up top. Where's number 19? Doyle working inside. Shot, score! Tim Doyle with his 13th goal of the year. They come at the 126 mark, and the Nighthawks have taken their first lead of the game. They're up 3-2. Let's see if we can catch that one on replay. Here we go on the TVX video replay. So Doyle just makes a beautiful move. Looks like he's going to the outside, cuts back inside, and finds nothing but the back of the net.
Yeah, it's a good S dodge by Doyle. They're getting underneath this guy and coming back. And that's a nice dodge, no slide, and a huge goal for the Nighthawks.
So the Nighthawks, after trailing 2-0, have scored 3 unanswered goals. And the Saints win the faceoff.
You can see how the momentum has switched.
Yep, and Fuso with it. Gives way to goalie Doherty. And now the clear to Tanaka. Oh, misfired pass. Turnover by the Saints. Goes back to the Nighthawks with 56 seconds to go here in quarter 3.
Yeah, Tanaka was in a tough position there. He had a pole, long stick defender sitting on him, and he had to get rid of it. And he just didn't throw the ball perfect. But now it happens the other way. So.
Terrible pass the other way. I don't know, is that miscommunication? Is that just losing concentration? What is that?
In both situations, just lack of fundamentals and not making a good pass.
Nighthawks with the turnover on defense. And a timeout, I think, was called. And yes, a timeout was called by Coach Boothia. 37 seconds to go in quarter number 3. Del Norte 3, St. Augustine 2.
Yeah, and that's a good timeout there by Coach Boothia. I mean, it's, you're still in the third quarter, but you're under 40 seconds. You get the ball down there, and you've been throwing it back and forth to each other, and now you have a chance to go up by 2. That's a good timeout and well spent.
TVX Video has quite the history covering local sports here in San Diego and SoCal. They specialize in sports video for team training, college recruitment, and live streaming games just like this one. They take pride in their ability to bring you local sports, and the TVX sports team wants to say thanks for tuning in. It really means a lot. Reading the script by our head honcho, Mr. Ted Bendrick, who will be working his way up. I think he was covering another event down in San Diego, the new sport, which I've never heard of, called beach soccer.
I had never heard of it either. He mentioned that to me, and it's the first I heard of it, but
I know Ted's wrapping up there and coming up here. A couple of months ago, I hope you had the opportunity to watch our Division I lacrosse match between Virginia and Cornell at Orange Coast College. It was one for the ages. Virginia won 19-18 in overtime. That was an exciting game before a sellout crowd. We had over 2,900 people watching it live. We had over 21,000 hits, and I guarantee you we're going to be doing that one on an annual basis from now on.
Yeah, that was a great game.
And we continue to cover the San Diego Lacrosse Championships every year, and we want to thank all the schools who are participating for making this possible. Mark Keller, Coach DeMeo, thanks for joining us here on Championship Saturday. And boy, the Nighthawks, who looked so sluggish in the first half, have really taken over the momentum of this game. We're down to 30 seconds to go here in the third.
Interesting strategy here by Coach Tola, having the short stick 16 covering Luke coming out of this timeout, with 37 seconds to go. I think they're just planning on sliding early to him.
Shot opportunity goes wide, and possession will be kept down to 13 seconds. Let's see if they can get off one last shot before the end of the quarter. Up 3-2. Doyle with that beautiful goal moments ago. Cuts back in. Save is made by Doherty, and that will complete 3/4 of play from San Marcos. Well, Del Norte comes up with 2 goals in the third, shutting out the Saints in the third, and at the end of 3, Del Norte 3, St. Augustine 2. You're watching exclusive coverage of the San Diego CIF High School Lacrosse Championships right here on TVX Video.
Augustine, hard sport. Barbecues, restaurant sponsoring. Together.
Well, here we go. 12 minutes of lacrosse action remaining. 3-2 Del Norte leads St. Augustine. Mark Ellerin, head coach Tom DeMeo of Santa Fe Christian. Thanks for joining us here on the Division II Championships. You know, the Saints look strong in the first quarter, scoring 2 goals, and they haven't scored since.
Yeah, they haven't been able to generate much offense. You know, they had that opportunity there. We got called in the crease. That's been about it, and that seemed to change the momentum of the game.
Here comes Del Norte with it. They've got a 1-goal lead and possession. It's Baron Drent, a freshman who has 11 goals and 16 points on the year. And you have to be wondering right now, if you're the Saints, how much do you miss Matthew Beto not being here?
Yeah, you know, he's the type of player that picks up a lot of ground balls.
Shot, goal! And they take a 4-2 lead. Oh my, that was quite the shot by number 25. Let's take a look on the TVX video replay.
Yeah, it's really, you know, it's just mostly a catch and shoot. You see, he steps in, good overhand, fundamental, strong bounce shot, stays low. Again, I think that's where most of these goals have been scored today. So that's a good shot and a good goal for Del Norte.
And it comes in the early moments of the fourth quarter with 11:24 to go. I believe that was Sean Lack, number 23, coming up with that goal.
Yeah, and you can see here, Saints has switched to a long pole at the face-off, and Del Norte's won the last 2 clean. So they have the advantage in that part of the game.
Boy, if you would have told me at the end of the first quarter that Del Norte could possibly be shutting out St. Augustine the rest of the way, I would have said no way. But you're the coach, and I know that you had something in your mind there that Del Norte had it in them.
Yeah, Saints came out, they had some offensive good takes. And you can see now that Del Norte's being aggressive and going to the net. They didn't really have many possessions to start the game, so I think it's a matter of having to get the ball back for Saints and get some goals here. But first off, they got to stop Del Norte, who has all the momentum. Shot
was wide by Tim Doyle. Possession is kept. 10.5 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. Welch. Shot high and wide. However, on the plus side, a shot attempt, and he shot it lefty.
Yep, that's the goal he's looking for right there.
Welch, score! Jake Welch with his 23rd goal of the year. It comes at the 10:15 mark of the fourth quarter, and Del Norte extends their lead. They're up 5-2.
Yeah, that was a simple draw and dump in the wing. We'll see a highlight here, but a replay. Draw and dump in the wing, another good overhand bounce shot.
Here's the replay.
Actually,
That's point blank range.
yeah, and he drops low to low on that shot. Doesn't change levels, but he shoots it hard, and he stepped in on it, got his hands free, and that's a tough one to stop.
Yep, so each of the Welch brothers have 1 goal each, and they have scored 5 straight since trailing 2-0. What a great effort by Jet Gilden. Off to Tyler Renicky. I'm looking for Renicky to get going. He has not scored a goal today. One of their good goal scorers with 21 on the year. How the tide has turned in the second half.
Yeah, and it all started. It was all started with that crease violation, went down, and it's been a totally different game since.
Whatever Coach Boothia said at halftime has paid huge dividends if you're a Nighthawk fan. Jake Welch, who just scored moments ago, shot again, and the save is made by Doherty. You can tell, even though it's the fourth quarter, seems like he's starting to get into his rhythm. Sloppy pass, turnover. Good job by the long pole. Alex Borromeo. Off to Penn. To Adams. That's a high pass, though, and going to be an unforced turnover.
Yeah, and the Nighthawks have cleaned up the clearing game. They're spread out. They just haven't made the passes.
But up 5-2. It had been 3 consecutive victories for St. Augustine. Their last loss was to your ball club, 7-5.
Yeah, and it was a good game. They fought. It was similar to this. They came out firing, and they scored some goals, and we got the momentum in the fourth quarter and pulled away. But these guys battle. This one's not over if they can get another one.
Well, it ain't over till the fat lady sings, but she's starting to hum in my headset, if you know what I mean, with 8:17 to go here in the fourth. Shot on the way. It's going to get deflected. Good defense there by Cody Gilligan. Up close to midfield. It'll be scooped up and picked up by the Saints, who will have another offensive possession. Right in front of Spencer, just simply lost the handle. If he catches that, that's a goal.
They had a guy open down low, and the midi saw him. Results in a turnover.
The execution was there, everything except for the goal score. And time, not quite yet a factor at 7.5 minutes, but something to pay attention to in the back of your mind. Penn with a poor pass, but it's picked up by the Nighthawks. Welch had it for a moment and then lost the handle. Behind the cage. Shot, and a beautiful save made by Doherty off the shot attempt by Jason Brown. Boy, if Doherty doesn't make that save, might be game over.
It's a game-saving save.
Yep. Keeps the Saints in the hunt. Good clear by Bacino. But the Saints have got to find a way to get some offense going. Jack Page, he's been held in check scoreless. 17 goals on the year. Shot and a beautiful save made by Penn off the shot attempt by Evan Gibbons.
A great move by Gibbons to get in there. He just shot it high to high, right in his stick. It was a great move to get inside.
Renicky behind the cage for Del Norte. They are up 5-2. Yes, Spencer, he has been held scoreless today for the Saints. There's a Jack Page and Jack Spencer, like we wouldn't notice the difference. Nighthawks looking to put this one away. However, they lose the handle, and it's picked up by Lorenzo Mier Iteran. And in the clear of the Saints.
The Saints have had their chances. They had the ball 3 or 4 times, down 3 goals, and It's resulted in turnovers, so they're going to have to score one of these to get back in this game.
Yep. Tanaka. Good defense by the long pole for the Nighthawks.
Yes, you see Tanaka here. He's with a short stick. He's been playing.
Shot. Save is made by Penn. I've been impressed with the saves that he has come up with since the first quarter. He's really been sharp after a slow start to the game.
Yeah, that was a good save right there.
Have to start thinking in the back of our minds as we're at 4:55 left in the game about players of the game, so I'll give you a couple of minutes to kind of think about that, Coach. Good defense by the Saints, and was it a turnover? But now it's picked up. Nighthawks thought about it for a second, was Chad Lammers, and he said, you know what, more important to take time off the clock. The shot right
good save
front,
by Doherty.
Yeah, that's a very good save off the shot attempt by John Faringa. 4:15 remains. If you're the Saints, I mean, you got to feel like you need a goal on this possession. Tanaka. Aaron pass. Losing the handle is Mischke. Mischke loses it again, and now finally picked up by Ricky Reed.
Yeah, it's sort of a must possession, as you say.
Yep. 3:50 remains in the fourth. Shot, score! It's Chris Naris with his first goal of the game.
That's a good look inside there by Jack Spencer. He's got X, and he finds him right on the crease for a goal.
Oh. So check it, the goal by Jack Chamberlain makes it 5-3 with 3:48 to go. For Chamberlain, that's his 14th goal of the year. It comes with 3:48 to go and gives the Saints a glimmer of hope.
This will be a big face-off. They went back to the short stick at the X here. We'll see how that works out for Saints.
Yeah. If you're a Saints fan, you probably got to throw up a couple of novenas right now, huh? But the Nighthawks come away with it. And
yeah, Saints won the clamp. 9 won the clamp, and now Del Norte has a big clear coming up.
Yep. If they can get the clear, they can get some valuable time off the clock, and nicely done by Jet Gilding. Gilding still with it. Shot, and it hits the post. Boy, if Gilding puts that one in, the game's over.
Absolutely.
Not very often.
And again, they did a good job. That time they had one run the ball out rather than throw some of those errant passes they've been doing, and it almost turned into a goal.
Not very often you see a player with the clear end up taking a shot attempt, but that was done right there by Gilding. 2:52 remains to play here in the game.
Yeah, and it's funny. That's one of those situations where, Coach was probably yelling yellow, Coach Boutia, and he wanted him to slow it down, but he almost had a goal out of it.
Oh, if it would have gone in, he would have been like, oh, great play. Good defense by the Saints. But time continues to tick away on that clock. Faringa comes away with it for Del Norte. They'll be more than happy to continue to take time off the clock. 2:13 remaining to play here in the game.
Yeah, and just in about 10 seconds, you're going to have a get it in, keep it in situation where they won't be able to take it outside the box.
Yep, Welch with it. Off to Doyle. Who do you like for player of the game? I've given you some time to think about it, Coach.
Well, I've been impressed with the goalie.
You like that?
Yeah. Jordan's been strong. He's made 3 or 4 stops late.
I mean, giving up only 3 goals in a championship game.
That's
pretty
kind of
impressive.
was my original thought. Is we're looking at 3 goals in a championship game, and you got to look at the goal turn. I haven't seen the saves, but a couple of the ones he's made here is the reason why they're winning in the end.
Gave up no goals in the second, third, and most of the fourth quarter. That goal coming up at the 3:48 mark. So I agree with you. Jordan Penn, our player of the game. Drent just taking time off the clock. Errant pass goes out of bounds and will go to the Saints. 1:06 remaining. They're not quite totally in the clear yet.
Yeah, and both coaches still have a timeout left, and I'm sure Saints are thinking they got to go quick here and then win the face-off and maybe use a timeout there. But look for 15, Chris Tanaka, to get the ball.
And maybe if you don't get a quick clear, maybe you go for a timeout. Here come the Saints and Fuso, and timeout is called. 53 seconds remain to play here in the Division II game. Well, Del Norte has shown everybody why they are the number 1 seed. After getting off to a slow start, trailing 2-0, they have dominated since then with a combination of timely offense, some good defense, even though they spent a lot of the game playing defense, and the outstanding goaltending of Jordan Penn.
Yeah, and time of possession matters, but it's ultimately Del Norte's played good defense and put the ball on the ground. They've made saves, and ultimately that's been the story of the game. Offensively, I think Saints has done a pretty good job keeping the Nighthawks at bay, keeping Luke Welch at bay. That was one of Coach Tola's major things he was trying to do, and Luke's a D1 commit, I believe Marquette, and I think that. They did a good job on him so far, but now this game comes down to can the Saints score, and then can they win the faceoff?
And right in front
that's
of
a tall
us,
task.
Right in front of us, you're hearing the chant of "Let's go Nighthawks" right in front of us here in the press box, which, by the way, one of the more beautiful press boxes here in San Diego County. And we're watching the CIF San Diego section of lacrosse finals on TVX Sports. If you're enjoying the action, make sure you give us a thumbs up. Let's see what the Saints can do in the waning moments. Spencer, they have held him in check tonight. Their go-to guy behind the cage. I mean, you got to let one fly here and let it fly soon.
And it's Tanaka has it.
Yep, he gets the opportunity. I'm not sure if that one might have hit the post and find its way up at midfield.
Let's see it.
And the clear by the long pole. And timeout called with 21 seconds remaining. So right now, if you're Coach Boothia and you're talking to your Del Norte team, he's probably just saying, keep possession of the ball.
Yeah, you're not looking to score. You're not looking to do much. You got 10 seconds to get it in the box, so you get some time if they double to make some passes. And I think you get the game in hand as long as you're smart about it. So that's a good timeout right there. That's why you save those timeouts for the end of the game in these type of games. So, you don't have any question. You calm your players down, put it in number 10 stick, and let him do some work until time expires.
Yep, and the offense, it's been a democracy. 5 separate players have scored a goal. Good, Luke Welch, Doyle, Black, and Jake Welch have scored your goals today for the Nighthawks.
Yeah, balance is important. I mean, you got to have it. And, I know in my championship game last year, Hank Ontiveros had 5 of my 6 goals, so I didn't have much balance. But it's nice to have that balance, and I'm sure Coach is happy with them. Those 5 goals were all big.
Well, what do they say? A win is a win is a win, and you got that huge rock of the CIF ring on your finger to prove it.
6-5 and 5-3 games aren't my favorite, but you're right. A win is a win.
The Nighthawks coming out of the timeout. It will be Tim Doyle with possession and 21 ticks remaining. Doyle pretty much is probably just going to try and run out the clock here. And they're doing a good job with that off to Welch. No shot attempt needed. And safe to say that the Nighthawks of Del Norte will be pulling off the CIF victory, and Saints get it with just 6 seconds left. Down to the last few seconds, you got to put the shot up. And that will do it. The Nighthawks of Del Norte knock off the Saints of St. Augustine. Your final score is 5-3 with the victory. Del Norte finishes the season at 13-7. With the loss, St. Augustine finishes up at a very respectable 15-7. Your thoughts on this one, Coach?
Yeah, I mean, big momentum switch on that crease violation with the goal scored in the third quarter, and after that, it looked like a totally different game. Del Norte looked like the team I expected to see. It really dominated, the game up and down the field. So I think overall that no surprises in this. I give Saints credit. I mean, they fought and they had the lead, and they even put themselves in a position to probably win this game if they score that fast break. But Del Norte earned this one with great third and fourth quarter play.
So the Del Norte Nighthawks, they are your CIF champions. We've called Jordan Penn, who gave up just 3 goals, our player of the game. On the flip side for the Saints, you've got to think, so close yet so far. Now, this is the first time ever they've made it to the title game before. The year before to the semis, so maybe they are getting one step closer to winning a title.
Yeah, I mean, I do think next year they come in as the favorites. I think Del Norte will move up, and we'll potentially, I could see them playing an open division. I've said that before. They're a good team. They got a lot of young, good players. Luke Welch is only a sophomore. They got a bunch of freshmen coming in. So, St. Augustine had a great season. They made it, as far as you can make it. They just didn't win the final game.
So your final score, 5-3, Del Norte over St. Augustine. And they are the CIF champions. As you've been watching the Division II San Diego High School Lacrosse Championships on TVX Video. And be sure to continue to join. We want to know that you are viewing the games out there so we can continue to bring you sporting events throughout San Diego and Southern California. So, Coach, you need to make sure you go on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, whatever you got. Tell all your coaching buddies and people in your lacrosse fraternity that they need to be tuning in here today.
Well, and funny story, last year during halftime of our game, TVX was streaming this across the country, and I had 3 or 4 texts from coaching buddies from back home, telling me maybe things they saw or things they thought we could do or wishing me well. So I think it's great. I think it's great that TVX does this. I think they're the best. We get all kinds of cameras here, so it's great.
And also, you have to remember, this is high definition 1080. This is like you're watching the sporting event in high definition on your TV, but just coming across your computer or mobile device.
Well, yeah, I watch a lot of my son's games in college on live streams, the ones that aren't on ESPN, and those, the quality of what they do at the college level isn't even as good as this. So it's a great format, and the kids are lucky to have this and all the families.
So your final score, once again, Del Norte 5, St. Augustine 3. With the victory, the Nighthawks, they're your Division II champions. And what an outstanding job by our crew here on broadcast number 1 out of 3. Luis Rivera, producer and TD. Andrew Leadham, our director. Randall, George, Christina, and Josh all on camera. Our executive producer is Ted Bendrick. For Tom DeMeo, I'm Mark Keller saying so long. We'll see you again in about 50 minutes. It'll be the Division I championship game between La Jolla Vikings and the Script Ranch Falcons. Until 50 minutes from now, so long and good day from San Marcos High School.
Cavs come away with it, and it's Conrad. And a flag flies. Should be man-up opportunity coming up here for Virginia. And they're deadly there. Crouch score! We've got a one-goal game. It's 11-10 with 2:13 to go here in the third.
Yeah, you wonder about the energy level of Cornell, and you wonder if Coach Kerwick wants to take a timeout, kind of let them get a breather, because when you have to play this tempo for 60 minutes, guys are going to start to get tired. You're going to start putting guys in that might not have kind of logged the minutes that you would want them to log before going into a game like this.